So welcome to this journey to Greece we're about to embark on today. I'm Anne McBride, the Deputy Director of the Torre Barra Mediterranean Center, a joint project of the CIA and the University of Barcelona. We develop programs that translate the well-established science around the Mediterranean diet, and we'll hear more about that today from our presenter, into actionable strategies for the industry. And as you all probably know, the scientific codification of the Mediterranean diet is based on what people were eating in Crete in the 1960s. So it is with particular interest that I welcome today's presenter, who will take us on a culinary tour of Greece. Maria Loy is the chef owner of Loy Estatorio in New York, and for locals, it is open and with plenty of outdoor seating, so you can visit Maria for yourself in New York City. And in the meantime, we welcome Maria here.
Yasu.
Yasu, Maria. And so you're going to start with a presentation. We'll have time for questions, so enter them in the chat. Maria will also be in the Meet the Author part of the expo during the first break and in the Torre Barra Mediterranean Center booth in the second break. So you'll get lots of chances to be talking with her throughout the day. Maria, do you want to start into your presentation right away? Do you want to?
Thank you very much, Professor McBride. You know, like, as I told you before, I am such a fan of the amazing work you're doing in the US and Spain on the Mediterranean diet. So I'm so pleased to be here today. Hello to all of you out there. I would like to tell you my approach to cuisine, health, and wellness. I grew up in a small farm in Thermo, Greece, growing tobacco, grains, olives, beans, and other produce, the foods we should be eating today, except for tobacco, of course. In my early career as a lobbyist, I traveled a lot, and I fell into bad eating habits, full of processed food. What saved my life was returning to my home to cook healthy with delicious ingredients from my childhood. I am going to take you back to those days and share with you how I use those ingredients in my cuisine and cooking techniques. My story, my mission, like menus of change, begins with vegetables and the plant-forward Greek cuisine. We used so many vegetables in our food: salads, soups, MEZZE plates, oven-baked dishes, and stews. You know, at least 90% of our way of cooking involved vegetables, beans, and grains. This eggplant dish was so simple to make and so tasty because we used preserved tomatoes, partially dried in the sun, using 4 simple ingredients. It was perfect, filling, and so healthy. With some feta cheese. I mean, it wouldn't have been Greek without feta. We extended these dishes by adding orzo rice to feed our large family. For example, with panakorizo, my beloved papu, that's grandfather in Greek, told me the rice would help us absorb the iron and grow stronger. He was not a Harvard professor, of course, but somehow he knew. In Greece, we honor the ingredients, especially beans. That's why our national dish is fasolada, bean soup, and not moussaka, as many people think. There was a bean dish on our table almost every day. My Papuayan told me they were good for our hearts. Research shows this is true. Beans and legumes are proven to reduce cholesterol. Lamb, fish, chicken, and eggs always took a backseat to vegetables and legumes. Animal proteins played only a supporting role. Greek plant-forward cuisine supports us through nistia, our fasting time. During this period, we cut out animal products, except shellfish and cephalopods, kephalopod, as we say in Greek. During nistia, we rely only on vegetables, fruits, nuts, grains, beans, and legumes to nourish ourselves, with very little olive oil. That's the only time we don't use a lot of olive oil, but other times we do. Because, as we say in Greece, metron ariston, nothing in excess, or everything in moderation, except love, olive oil, and good deeds. Grains in many forms were basic to our healthy way of living. Wheat bran, wheat berries, flour that we milled, nothing was lost. The breads we bake were mostly dark. Prosimi, our mother-in-law, has been in our family for over 150 years. I have to tell you about the simple bread with cheese from my village. It was one of my favorites. I made mine different from the others, and everyone loved it because I enriched it with eggs and yogurt my mother made. It was so fluffy and unique. I baked it in small ceramic dishes, and still I do that today. In Greece, we make a lot of pita bread, which we inherited from the ancients. Today, pita bread can be found all over the Mediterranean and in many forms. We made more than bread with our grains. Let me tell you about trachana. You could call it peasant pasta. We make trachana using a special technique and a tool called koskino, a special sieve. In my family, we made trachana either sweet or sour, depending on the liquid we used and how we fermented it. With some of our trachana, we made chachles. My father brought this recipe from the island of Lesbos, on the other side of Greece. On Lesbos Island, they are also known for their amazing sardines. And when we speak about wheat, we must speak about phyllo dough, the staple of every Greek household. There are many kinds of phyllo, actually a range from delicate to rustic. They are the foundation of our pies, or pites as we call them. We filled our pies with vegetables because that's what we had in our home garden. But pies can be sweet or savory, and they can come in many forms and sizes and shapes, depending on the region they come from. Especially, actually, I have to tell you, for a special rustic pie I want to talk about is the choriatico, meaning village style. These pies made it easy for peasants to carry their food anywhere or to enjoy as a MEZZE. MEZZE. MEZZE is central to the Greek style of eating, with ancient roots. As far back, as the ancient Greeks, symposia, we enjoyed MEZZE with wine and tsipuro, or as a small meal with our friends. And I remember in the Cafenio, the Greek cafe, when they had no meze, they gave us stragalia instead. Stragalia are oven-baked chickpeas. I was a kid, so of course, they didn't give me tsipuro or ouzo today, but I made sure to eat every one stragalia because they were so crunchy and my favorite snack, and still are today. Nuts were any and everyday staple, whether we ate them by the handful as a snack or added them to dishes to enhance the texture and flavor, like desserts. For example, karidopita, baklava, and baked apples cooked with walnuts and a lot of cinnamon, which lowers the glycemic index. Let me tell you about spoon desserts. They are fruit in syrup made with its natural juice and honey, sometimes with sugar. But not in my house. They are easy to make, satisfying, and a simple way to preserve fruit. Spoon desserts have intense flavor. A little goes a long way. My mother made the best yogurt, which I love to top with spoon desserts or honey and nuts. Next to olive oil, yogurt is everywhere in our cuisine. It's not just for a dessert. We could have it on any meal and in savory dishes as well. The next ingredient is without doubt the most important, lathi, which means olive oil in Greek. I say it is the most important because without lathi, there is no Mediterranean diet. It has been a staple for the Greeks since ancient times. I want to share a fond memory about olive oil, which brings us full circle back to thermo. When I was a child, my father would take me to the Eleotrivio, the village olive press. When the first drop of lathi came out, I would run up to the press and catch them with a piece of bread. That olive oil, called agurello, comes from the first pressing of unripe olives. At the beginning of the season, it is so bright and full of flavor. Every day, as long as it lasted for almost 3 months, my grandfather fed us a spoonful of agurello every morning and told us it was our medicine. Later, I learned agurello is full of antioxidants known as polyphenols, specifically oleocanthal, which protect us against cancer and not only, as research shows. And if we follow the olive oil trail, we must start on the island of Crete. Everything I have discussed so far today, the importance of plant-forward ingredients, seafood, and other proteins in supporting roles, and the importance of olive oil, all this comes from the traditional Cretan diet. And for me, that's what the Mediterranean diet is. Crete offers an incredible variety of healthy wild herbs and greens, like stamnagathi, which is similar to wild chicory, and cheeses made from sheep and goat's milk, like anthotiro and graviera. Paximadia or dakos are traditional Cretan rusks, They are made from whole grain and twice baked to preserve them. These rusks appear on every Cretan table in many savory and even sweet dishes. So, what do these Cretan dishes have in common? The generous use of olive oil. Olive oil, especially Cretan olive oil, offers a path to health and wellness. And this is why I have adopted the Cretan lifestyle. I hope you will follow it too. I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you so much, Maria. And I'll leave your takeaways on the screen so that people can take a little bit more note of that. If you have any questions for Maria, please put them in the chat. My first one, while waiting for them to come in, how did your papu learn all of this knowledge that, is this sort of embodied knowledge that then is proven by science rather than the other way around?
And it's going, everything is what is today. That's what my papu taught me, actually, like for the olive oil, for the Greek honey, it was, I don't know. He was actually, both of my grandparents, they knew everything, whatever it was there, I didn't have to ask anyone. And also my mother was following that. So when we were eating something, they had an answer why we were eating that. That's how I learned it from my papu. Mm-hmm. I don't know how my papu did it, but I think from his papu.
That's what I was, probably a sort of oral tradition
exactly.
of knowledge. Yep.
Yeah.
So we have a question about if we will be getting recipes. Any recipes provided by Maria are in the link at the top of the chat, so you can click on that. And then you should, of course, buy her book, which you'll be able to do during the break. Una is asking, what type of flour is used to make traditional bread?
Oh, we had many kind of flours, from wheat, and always it was the spelt that we call it today, but it was the zea, Z-E-A. It's a Greek type, but
it's
different.
Whatever of wheat or
wheat, yeah. But also we could make it with barley.
Oh,
yeah, and I liked it very much with barley. And I liked every flour that I could make the darkest bread. I love dark bread.
That makes me think. Your prosima, you said it's been 150 years old. Prosima.
Oh yes.
So that's the starter, basically.
Yeah, the starter. Yeah.
Wow.
We keep it over there. Like it's we still have it.
Do you have some with you in New York also?
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's what I was going to tell you. We have some. Also, we got the cultures for my yogurt.
Oh, wow. How long have the cultures been in your family?
I think maybe it's over 200 years.
So for those of you who have been, making yogurt and sourdough since about March 15th, as a lot of people have, you're just 150 to 200 years behind Maria and her family.
Yeah.
We have a couple of more questions. Have you made vegan phyllo from scratch? And if so, do you have a recipe?
No, I didn't make vegan phyllo. And if someone makes it, please inform me.
Could you make it with olive oil? I haven't tried, but I've been wondering about that.
Oh, it's only with olive oil. I don't use actually butter.
So it is vegan, no?
Yeah, well, it is vegan, but I'm sorry, it's flourless. I'm sorry. I've that. Yeah. Because vegan, it is the phyllo. It is vegan. It's all gluten free. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What should we look for when buying good quality olive oil?
Oh, it's you cannot see it from the bottle, but if you take the bottle, an easy way to see that, it's you put some on your palm here, and you rub it like this, heat it up, and then take it over here in front of you, in your nose, and then you will smell that grass, like the real thing. And if that smell takes you at the back of the throat, that means, and it has like a thorn over there, that means has the oleocanthal, and that's the best olive oil.
That's very good advice, and that's one that I haven't heard a lot. We always talk about tasting it and getting that feeling from tasting it, but just from smelling, that's great.
That's my papu again.
That's how he would.
Exactly.
How did that work in the village? Did you have, is there like a collective, does everyone make their own olive oil, or is there a cooperative system basically?
Oh, yes, there is one. But also there are big factories now that for me, they're not factories because I don't call, like the olive press, I don't call it a factory. I like it to think how it was before, but they're really good now because it's cold press and you can get the best olive oil, and especially in Crete, near Chania, in Kolibari, is the best.
We have another olive oil question, and then I'll go to a question from Greg. You mentioned that, Scott is asking, you mentioned that olive oil is full of antioxidant. Do you still take it as medicine by itself?
Yes, actually, every day I have these 2 spoonfuls in the morning, okay? And half a teaspoon of honey in the evening, my black honey.
Oh.
Yes, it is medicine for me, at least.
I must say I do that too. I'll just drink olive oil like that. And
bravo.
So Greg, who says hi Maria, is asking, in recent years, Crete has veered somewhat away from the proportionality in its traditional diet. What do you hear from chefs, doctors, social leaders, etc., on how to recapture the balance in the traditional Cretan diet between plant and animal-based foods?
Well, a few years before, I think that we lost that train with the Cretan diet, okay? But now, and actually through the pandemic, they went back to the Cretan diet.
Interesting.
So, and it was like we had obesity over there. We had everywhere, obesity, diabetes, all of that. But now they're going back. These numbers, they're going down, which is excellent. So coronavirus made something which is good.
But so are they going back to it because of decline in income? Because that's one thing we often forget when we talk about Crete in the 60s. The roots of all of the Mediterranean dietary principle come from doing with what you have around you and not purchasing food elsewhere, right? So are they looking to eat healthier, or do they not have money to be buying more processed foods?
I think both, but also that they had to stay in the house, like for so many months, and they were making those beautiful pies, a lot of vegetables that they had to do, and no animal, and it's very good.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's so true. I'm gardening, and I have so many cucumbers that I eat 2 cucumbers a day because that's what my garden is producing right now. And so automatically your diet is healthier when you can go 2 minutes from your kitchen.
I have to tell you, Professor, when I have a bottle of water, I cut slices of cucumbers and I put in my water. Immediately it's alkaline. You see, this small tricks.
Your papu lives on.
Yes, he does.
Greg is asking as a follow-up, can chefs be successful with more plant-forward foods on their menus, or does celebratory food sell better? Beyond the pandemic, I mean, obviously we're in this sort of parenthesis time. What do you think afterwards?
Well, I am positive for that they can be successful because we've done it. Before we used to sell more, like meat, lamb. Everyone was coming there to the restaurant and they said, "Do you have a steak?" I said, "Next door." Yes, but after that, fish is of course still okay, but vegetables, I don't know, for me is the number one and can be celebratory. Why not?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other, right? Yeah. Maybe it's about making celebratory food that are full of vegetables.
Or it doesn't have to be like, oh, you eat only vegetables. No. But you can have like a full plate of vegetables and then put a small piece of whatever you want, fish or meat.
Is that what you do on your menu at Lloyd?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And now our customers is almost like, I can say 99%. They love the vegetables. And if they want, they think that they have to get protein like from animal.
Yeah.
A piece of fish, which we love that now, you know.
And that's also related to how do we make these changes. Jennifer is asking, how do you educate our society on why they should eat a Mediterranean diet? That's a big question.
Yeah. First of all, the Mediterranean diet, it ranks #1 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a good thing. People are changing now to eat like more vegetables and all this. The only thing that we have to teach them is how to cook them, because we can have vegetables. If we fry them, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
So we must show them the techniques, and we must show them that this is an easy meal to make. You can make like it in 10 minutes maximum. So when you tell them that easy, first of all, in their brain, they will say, oh, good, you know, I can come back from work and I can do that. But also when they will eat it, when it's not fried, not destroyed, and with olive oil, it's going to be super tasty. And they can add a piece of cheese, and they have everything what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Add lemon, antioxidant. You know, I live with lemons next to me. You know? Always I have lemons next to me. It gives you like very, very tasty food. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Mediterranean diet doesn't take anything out. You know, like it's you can have almost everything.
Yeah, I mean that's why you know I always hate that it's called diet, right? Because we associate diet.
I'll tell you about diet. Diet. The word diet is an ancient Greek word, dieta. All right, but as I said, it didn't mean like to be stressful and say, oh, what I'm doing today. No, it was well-being, the way of living. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to follow.
Well, that's a great note to end this session on. We're actually going to hear Maria's 6-word takeaways after I give you a couple of notes about the upcoming break. So stay tuned for the 6 words. The networking tab on the left allows you to have 4-minute video interaction with someone randomly selected with a feature question of the week to help you get the conversation started. This week's question is plants or plant-based meat? You can also visit our sponsors in the expo, and you'll see culinary demos, trend presentation, insightful videos. This is also where Maria will be for her Meet the Author during the first break, and in the second break in the Torre Barra Mediterranean Center booth. So come and continue this conversation in those 2 places. And then remember that when you participate in all of these activities, you're entered in a raffle to win cookbooks. And if you've participated the last 5 weeks and this week, you're entered in a raffle to win registration and travel to Hyde Park for the 2021 Menus of Change. All right, now let's hear.
Next year we're going to do this in Greece, right?
We're going to do that. Yes, we will do this. We'll do Menus of Change in Hyde Park, and we'll do another conference in Greece.
Okay.
About that.
In Crete. In Crete.
Okay. So let's hear your 6 words, Maria.
It's easy. Olive oil makes life taste better.
I love that. That's definitely a philosophy I can adopt, and I hope all of you will also. If you're not living that yet, you live that going forward. So I'm going to paste again the link in the chat where you'll find Maria during the break. And thank you so much again, Maria. And we'll continue chatting.